When you're grieving the loss of a loved one, nothing beats birding in a cemetery. If you start crying like crazy, nobody questions it. That said, when you come to some cemeteries, they're actually beautiful and nicer than many public parks. This one is Santa Barbara Cemetery. It is located right at the ocean. So it has a view of the ocean on one side and a view of the mountains on the other. When you come down around this bend, you also have a view of the bird refuge that's just below, between the cemetery and the Santa Barbara Zoo. So the refuge is a great place to also look for birds. But cemetery is great when you want to get away from people, especially on the weekend. Santa Barbara's starting to fill up with tourists. So down here at the cemetery, you can actually get a view overlooking the bird refuge. I'll show you a little closer. So not many beginning birders think to go to a cemetery to look for birds. It can be depressing. But cemeteries often have a lot of native trees, and some of them are quite large and beautiful, like this one. And here I'm going to zoom in, and you can see the bird refuge. And from here, with a scope or even a good pair of binoculars, you can see the bird action down there. Right now there's some northern shovelers and ruddy ducks. Further to the left are some seagulls. I was not able to see them from here, but you can also park at the refuge and walk along there and get better views. But when you're here, you can get a view of some of it, and that's 101 right behind. So this is a pretty peaceful spot, and because of its size and a lot of trees, many non-native like the eucalyptus and the palm trees. However, native species are using these non-native trees, and there are some native like the pine trees and oak trees. So the acorn woodpeckers are here, and they're just entering, checking out nesting spots, and they cache a lot of their nuts along the trunks of the palm trees. There's actually two just hanging out on the palm tree right there. And there are lots of holes for nesting that they've built. Now they may nest there, or another species may take advantage of their carpentry work and nest in a spot that they've created. That happens a lot with woodpeckers. They create habitat, nesting spots for many creatures. And then these eucalyptus trees provide a lot of shade, cover for a lot of species. And I love the rolling hill here. It just makes it even nicer as a place to visit. And it's usually not crowded. There's, I think, a funeral going on today, so there were quite a few people at the gate. But when you get up into the cemetery, there's plenty of room. And perk of cemeteries like this are that they are safer than going to parks. Because there's security. Oh, just saw what looks like a band-tailed pigeon or Eurasian pigeon. I didn't get quite a good look. So I think that might have been a Eurasian. But anyway, I'll have to take a look at the video close up. There's an American kestrel, at least one, if not more, hanging out here lately. I just saw it. Because there's pine trees, there's oak trees. Because there's pine trees, there's oak titmice, to be specific. God, I can't speak today. There are oak titmice in the oak trees here. And of course, the ubiquitous house finches that are everywhere. Oh, I just saw a gravestone of somebody that is most likely related to me. Durfee. I have Durfees in my line. They go back to Rhode Island. And since I'm descended from the early Durfees, it's probable that they are too, and that we're distant cousins. That's the other thing about graveyards, is sometimes they have really interesting headstones. And I check out the names because I am a genealogist, and I find that interesting, and I often see names that are in my lineage. That's another thing that I do. So I actually started hanging out at cemeteries before I got into birding. I was visiting all the old cemeteries in the New England region and overseas looking for ancestor graves. So that started my visits to cemeteries of all sizes. And now I primarily come for birding. We got a black phoebe singing here on the headstone. I was hoping to confirm their breeding here today. It's early for them, but they might have nests. There are at least 2 males here, and I suspect that they might end up nesting on one of the larger grave sites that have areas that they can put a nest into. Anyway, as you can see, this is pretty amazing. This has got to be one of the most scenic cemeteries in the U.S. Let's take a little walk over to the water. I usually don't like to walk where the graves are out of respect for those that have passed. I always avoid stepping on the headstones. Okay, so we're out at the edge here. As you can see, you're not allowed to go any further. But there is a beach down there that you can get from further north, in front of the back of the zoo, where there's parking for free, first come first serve, and there are limited parking on the Montecito side. You can also go check for parking there, but much harder. But you can see there's always boats out here, and you can see the Channel Islands. I don't know which was which, but you can see one there. You can see one straight ahead by the ugly oil rigs. I sure hope they don't put the big old wood windmills out in the ocean that some people are trying to push forward. I think the current governor is trying to get that done, and that will just ruin. Already the drilling platforms are an eyesore. I just can't imagine having those ugly wind turbines out there. Plus, they will impact bird life and sea life. So hopefully that will not come to pass. There's somebody kayaking down there. Spy a little bit on this person. Nice. So the Channel Islands look so close from here. Gotta hop on a boat. But they are worth visiting. I've been out to one of them from Ventura Harbor. And oh wait, I can actually show you there is a beach that sand right now. You can see a little bit of the sand. So anyway, turning around, you can see just how nice this is. Not your typical place to visit when you're coming to Santa Barbara, but if you're a birder and you just want a little peace and quiet, this is a spot to check out. Plus, it's right next to the bird refuge, so you can spend just a few minutes here. You can watch the antics of the acorn woodpeckers, which is fun. The northern mockingbird is singing, marking out his territory. There are more than one male here, so they are competing. There are a lot of European starlings here. Whether they're going to stay or not for breeding is still to be seen. Oh, I'll show you some of the holes that the acorn woodpeckers have excavated. Pretty cool. There's a couple. Now that was, I'd say, is a great apartment with a view. Looking straight towards the ocean. Prime real estate, the acorn woodpeckers. So right now, the European starling, northern mockingbird, and house finches are singing. Let's go check out an acorn woodpecker. Let's see. Saw him on this tree here. Where'd he go? Up. All right. Flying over to the other. They're up at the top. They're up there. Kind of backlit, so I can't really concentrate on that. It's the middle of the day, so the bird activity has quieted down. Oh, at the top of this oak tree is a preening acorn woodpecker. All right, Santa Barbara Cemetery. Come check it out. If you're birding in Santa Barbara,